I'm Carlos Eduardo, and today I want to talk directly to Cowboys fans about a move that could define the direction of this franchise in the short term and quietly shape its future for years to come. Because when you hear that the Dallas Cowboys are being projected to make a roughly $30 million decision to solve a contract dilemma, your ears should perk up. This isn't just about one player. This is about philosophy. This is about identity. This is about how Dallas balances star power, cap discipline, and the weight that comes with being America's team. Let's start with the reality of where this roster is right now. The 2025 season told us something important. The Cowboys didn't just rely on familiar names. They saw real growth, real production, and real payoff from calculated risks. Bringing in Javonte Williams and trading for George Pickens weren't splashy, headline-grabbing moves at the time. They were bets. And if we're being honest, both bets paid off in a big way. Williams gave Dallas balance, toughness, reliability, over 1,200 rushing yards, double-digit touchdowns, and the kind of physical presence that keeps defenses honest in January. Pickens, though, changed the geometry of the field. 93 catches, over 1,400 yards, 9 touchdowns, top 3 in the league in receiving production, second-team All-Pro, Pro Bowl. That's not noise. That's elite output. And now comes the hard part. Because in the NFL, when you hit, you pay. Success is expensive, and the Cowboys are staring at a familiar crossroads. They already committed top-of-the-market money to CeeDee Lamb, locking him in through 2028. They have Dak Prescott's contract shaping the cap landscape. Micah Parsons' extension looms on the horizon. Trevon Diggs is a cornerstone in the secondary. This roster is stacked, and stacked rosters force uncomfortable decisions. From my perspective, the George Pickens situation is one of the most fascinating contract puzzles Dallas has faced in years. On one hand, you're talking about a receiver who hasn't even turned 25 yet. That matters. Age matters. Trajectory matters. Pickens isn't a declining veteran. He's a player who may still be ascending. On the other hand, this is only his first truly elite season. In Pittsburgh, the production never quite matched the talent. Effort was questioned at times. Consistency wasn't always there. So the question becomes simple, but not easy. Was 2025 the real George Pickens, or was it the perfect storm created by Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, drawing coverage, and an offense built to maximize spacing? This is where the projected $30 million move comes into focus. The idea of the Cowboys using the franchise tag on Pickens isn't flashy. It doesn't feel romantic. But it makes sense. Financially, strategically, historically. The projected tag number for wide receivers sits below what the top of the market now commands. In other words, tagging Pickens would cost Dallas less than committing to a long-term deal that pushes past $30 million per year. If I'm being honest with Cowboys fans, this feels like classic Dallas pragmatism. Buy time. Preserve leverage. Avoid locking yourself into a deal you might regret if the production dips. The franchise tag, at roughly $28 to $29 million, gives the Cowboys a full season to answer the biggest question. Can Pickens do it again? And there's precedent here. We've seen Dallas play this game before. Dak Prescott himself was franchised twice before, becoming one of the highest-paid quarterbacks in football. The organization isn't afraid of this path. They've walked it. What I find especially important is what Pickens showed when CeeDee Lamb wasn't on the field. In those 3 games Lamb missed, Pickens didn't shrink, he expanded. 19 catches, 359 yards, 4 touchdowns. That's not a complimentary receiver hiding behind a star. That's a player capable of carrying a passing game when the spotlight shifts. Historically, that's the kind of performance Jerry Jones has always valued. From the days of Tom Landry and Roger Staubach, through the dynasty years with Troy Aikman, Emmitt Smith, and Michael Irvin, the Cowboys have always believed in stars who rise when the pressure is highest. This franchise was built on players who didn't blink. And that history matters, because being America's team isn't just a nickname. It's an expectation, it's scrutiny, it's primetime lights. It's playing at AT&TStadium, with 80,000 fans and millions more watching. Not every talented player thrives in that environment. Some survive, some fade, some elevate. In my opinion, George Pickens showed signs that he can elevate. But one season isn't a lifetime guarantee. Let's talk cap mechanics for a moment. Because this is where fans often split emotionally from reality. Paying 2 wide receivers top 5 money is rare. Not impossible, but rare. When you do it, something else usually gives: depth, defense, offensive line. And in the NFC East, where physicality still matters, Dallas can't afford to weaken the foundation just to satisfy one position group. Philadelphia builds through the trenches. New York leans on defense. Washington is trying to find its identity. Dallas wins when it's balanced, when it can run, throw, rush the passer, and take the ball away. Overcommitting financially to one spot threatens that balance. That's why the franchise tag feels like a bridge. A test year, a prove-it scenario that protects the team while still rewarding the player handsomely. Remember, Pickens made less than $9 million over his rookie deal. $28 million for one season is not an insult. It's a statement. Show us it's real. And if it is real, Dallas can still negotiate long-term. If it's not, the Cowboys preserve options. Tag and trade. Let him walk. Reset the board. From a locker room standpoint, this also sends a message. Production matters. Consistency matters. Effort matters. Not just when things are perfect, but when adversity hits. That standard has defined Cowboys legends. Emmett played through pain. Irvin demanded excellence. Aikman absorbed pressure so others could shine. Today's stars carry that legacy whether they want to or not. Dak Prescott understands it. CeeDee Lamb has grown into it. Micah Parsons embraces it every snap. George Pickens is being asked to prove he belongs in that lineage. So where does this leave Cowboys fans? Leaves you watching a front office that's choosing patience over panic, structure over impulse. It leaves you with a roster that remains competitive now, without sacrificing flexibility later. And it leaves you with a 2026 season that could quietly determine the long-term shape of this offense. If Pickens dominates again, Dallas will pay him. I truly believe that. This organization rewards players who prove it twice. If he doesn't, the Cowboys will have protected themselves from a contract that could have aged poorly. That's not cold. That's business. That's the NFL. And that's how dynasties are sustained, not just built. This is Dallas football. This is expectation. This is pressure. And for Cowboys fans, the message is clear. Trust the process, but demand the standard. Because stars are celebrated here, but only after they prove they can carry the weight of the star on the helmet.